Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Now, in the past couple of days, I got quite a lot of requests regarding the entry into the DV lottery program, or as we more commonly know it as a green card lottery. So as you guys can see, I have the official Department of State website open in front of me. This is the link right here. Now, this is the only way to enter the DV lottery. I know there are a lot of third parties out there, a lot of third party websites that try to scam people into paying something to fill out, to do whatever, to enter them into the DV lottery. All of those things are pretty much a scam for the most part, and hopefully by the end of this video you will realize why. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. I'm not charging you any fee for anything, and I'm not trying to sell anything. That's why this channel is called Free Immigration Help Channel. Well, the reason why I started is because I'm an immigrant myself. I went through the immigration process. It's not easy. It was really hard, and I made a lot of mistakes along the way. So hopefully, if I can help you prevent making those mistakes, you know, that's I'll feel good. You know, like I'm doing something good. So here's the official website. I'm gonna put it in the link, not in the link, but in the description below. I'll put this link. It's a dvprogram.state.gov, and like I said, this is the official U.S. Department of State website. Okay, so there is no entry fee. It's completely free, but you will have to be meticulous about quite a few things. I'll explain what. So currently, the entry is open from October 5th. It's open up until November 8th. Okay, and the entry is for 2024. So keep that in mind. A few things to keep in mind before you even start doing this. You're gonna have to get some quality pictures, and later in this video I will talk in detail about pictures, because pictures is very important. Your photo is extremely important. It has to meet the standards, and if it does not meet the standards, your application is automatically just out the window. You don't want that to happen. We want to make sure everything is correct, just in case if you're selected, you meet the criteria, everything's good, you're moving on to the next stage. So without further ado, let's get into the entry itself. So in order to start your entry, begin entry, green button right here. And if you're watching this video after November 8th, keep that in mind. This button is not going to be there. So it's only active now between October 5th and November 8th. You will be prompted to ask to enter the authentication code, just to make sure that you are human, because like I said, there are a lot of scammers out there that capitalize on this, and Department of State, they had to kind of implement some protection. So this is our application. You see, it's not too long. It's very simple. We will go step by step through each, and we will talk about the photos later. Obviously, I'm gonna be entering here my good friend John Doe. His information. He's going to be the guy. So his information, if there's no middle name, you select no middle name. As you can see, there's an option for that. If you have a middle name, obviously you enter the middle name, gender male, date of birth, it's going to be January 1st, 1980, city where John Doe was born. And if you watched any of my previous videos, my example, John Doe is from Brazil. Now in Brazil, we have this is enter birth city. Okay, so we enter the city only. São Paulo. And if I've spelled São Paulo wrong, I'm sorry. I apologize to all the Brazilians out there. I really apologize. I haven't been to Brazil. I really need to visit it. But if the birth city is unknown, you can select that as well. Country where you were born. In our case, John Doe. So like I said, he's from Brazil. Let's find it. Brazil. There we go. Country of eligibility for the DV program. Now, I'm going to read this, and I'm going to kind of go a little bit through the explanation. Your country of eligibility will normally be the same as your country of birth. Okay. Your country of eligibility is not related to where you live. you were born in a country that is not, if you were born in a country that is not eligible for the DV program, please go to explanation of country of eligibility to see if there's another option available in your case. Okay, so that means in our example right here, we know John Doe is from Brazil and he was born in Brazil. So that means if Brazil is on the country, on the list of the countries that is good to go, we're good. But if Brazil is not part of the DV program, and some countries are not, sometimes they take out certain countries out of the program because they, well, I guess they're looking for immigrants from certain countries. I guess that's the only thing that I could think of. But if your country where you're born is not on the list of eligible countries, then we will go to this explanation and we will go further. Now, are you claiming eligibility based on the country where you were born? If you say yes, that's it. If you say no, then you select the country, the other country, let's say the country where you live. And I'm going to open this link right here, explanation. Let's see, so eligibility. So natives means you were born in the country of, the country of birth, right? So natives of countries with historically low rates of immigration to the United States may be eligible to enter. And that kind of gives us the reason why some of the countries are not on the list, because those countries have high immigration levels. All right, so that's number one. Number two, requirement. Each DV applicant must meet the education and work experience requirements. So we will talk about that later, but there will be a section in the application here, right here, where you will be entering your education details about your education. All right, so let's move on further. This is kind of like a mini instructions, and I'm gonna put this link in the description below so you can open it up, and in case if you have any kind of questions, you can go through this. But right now we are looking for this. We're looking for country of eligibility. Your country of eligibility will normally be the same as your country of birth. Your country of eligibility is not related to where you live or your nationality. If it is different from your country of birth, if you were born in a country that is not eligible, police review frequently asked. Okay, so this is giving us another link, which we will go to. And here we go. Can I still apply if I was not born in a qualifying country? There are two circumstances in which you still might be eligible to apply. First, if your derivative spouse was born in an eligible country, you may claim chargeability to that country. As your eligibility is based on your spouse, you will only be issued an immigrant visa if your spouse is also eligible for and issued an immigrant visa. Both of you must enter the United States together using your DVs. Your DV, that's your basically green card, the lottery that you're winning. Similarly, your minor dependent child can be charged to a parent's country of birth. And the second, you can be charged to the country of birth of either of your parents as long as neither of your parents was born in or a resident of your country of birth at the time of your birth. People are not generally considered residents of a country in which they were not born or legally naturalized. For example, persons simply visiting, studying, or temporarily working in a country are not generally considered residents. If you claim alternate chargeability through either of the above, you must provide an explanation on the EDV entry form in question 6. All right. Of course, it's not going to be very only in limited amount of cases, right? That's going to be the case. But if that's your case, here it is. You got the answer. Like I said in the instructions, I'll put them in the description below. Okay, let's move on further. Okay, the important part now. Photographs. Photographs, they must be submitted here as a part of the DV lottery. And I'm actually gonna select a random picture, some kind of stock picture, American flag here. But this is where you will input your photograph. And I'm gonna go to a link, and I'm gonna put that link in the description below as well for the photograph requirements, because there's quite a few. Okay, so photo examples. It's taking a while to load this one. So Obviously you want a clear picture, nothing blurry, nothing like that. Minimal amount of shadows with the white background, and you can see acceptable photos. It says Visa photos, but this is for DV lottery. So in our case, it's going to be for DV lottery, acceptable for DV lottery. Check this out. So shadows on lighting. You don't want it to be too dark. This is not good. Weird color gradients, not good. As you can see, shadow, not good. This is acceptable picture. This is acceptable picture. There's a little bit of shadow going on, but it's not a big deal. Now, glasses. Check this out. Even when glasses are worn every day, you must remove your glasses for a photo. Alright? So, this is acceptable. Without glasses. Not acceptable. Definitely not acceptable. Not acceptable. So, no glasses in the picture. Very, very important. Now, sizing and positioning. This is acceptable. So you have your face just a little bit above the center, and you have a little bit space at the top, and you have kind of just a little bit above your chest line, right? This is too close. So there's no chest line, too close. This is not in the center. Way to the right, not good. This is way too far. The camera is way too far, not good. And this is the camera way too close. Again, not good. Alright, moving further. Resolution, print size, and quality. Acceptable. Now this is blurry, so not acceptable. This is it's a really weird camera, bad camera, not acceptable. Not a white background, not acceptable. Plus it's really, really blurry. And yes, so this, I guess they want to show the sizes. It has to be 2 by 2. 2 inches by 2 inches. Alright, so 51 millimeter by 51 millimeter. You can't have weird dimension, one side bigger than the other. Okay, moving further. Digital alterations and retouching, and that's one of the things that I see most of the times. People send me their picture. It's like, hey, this is what I submitted in my green card, and I look at the picture and I'm like, nope, forget about it. Forget about it. What happens is, it's not even their fault. It's the fault of people who work in these photo centers that take pictures. By default, most of them, they cut out, they do alterations to the picture. They cut out the background in order to achieve white background, like you can see here in this picture. Not good. You cannot do that. It has to be original picture without any alterations, like this one right here. This was just a photo. The background is still there. You can see a little bit of a grainy stuff going on. It wasn't cut out. Here, obviously, it was, again, you can tell it was changed a little bit because it was stretched out. Not good. Cannot do that. And here you can see clearly that the picture was photoshopped because the background was cut out. Again, you cannot cut out the background in order to accomplish white background. If you do that, that's it. Forget about it. Alright, moving further. Pose and expression. No unnecessary, no smiles, no weird faces. It has to be just normal, straight face, no smiling, just looking at the camera. Like this lady right here. This is a perfect picture. This is not even looking at the picture. Not good. This is a happy picture, but not good for green card loader because you shouldn't be smiling. You should be straight face. Alright? Not even straight face, is looking somewhere, not good. Closed eyes, of course, not good. Moving further. Attire, hats, and hair. And I'm sure a lot of people might have a question with that because there is some attire out there. Certain religious groups, they have to wear a certain attire. And you might have a question about that. There you go. Let's answer that. That is okay. That is actually okay. The picture is good. There wasn't any alterations done. You see the background is original. There's still a little bit of the shadow from the natural shadow. The dimensions are good. It's not blurry. And it's good to go. Alright? This, however, is not good. Now, as you can see here, the kind of... I don't know what the percentage of the face that is covered, but not good. Head closing covers part of the face. So you cannot have any parts of the face covered, like right here, as you can see. All right. Honestly, with this, I know it's a very might be like a sensitive thing, but if you really want to increase your chances and you are unsure whether you are wearing your religious attire too much or not too much, not you close it too much or you don't close it too much, if you are okay with taking your picture without your religious attire, just do that. All right, this is the best recommendation that I can give you. Otherwise, you're still going to be kind of worried, because even with this picture right now, they're saying yes, it's okay, but at the same time, there's like, okay, well, this part of the face, your ears, they're not visible, they're covered, not good. You never know, honestly. Baby, okay, no, not good. Part of the face is covered. Part of the face is covered, not good. No hats. For just listen. If you don't have to wear a hat, if it's not like, one of those like sensitive topics for you, just don't wear it. All right, just don't wear it to be on the safe side. And hair as well. Hair for ladies. I mean, for guys. I guess some guys too. But your hair, get them out of the face. I guess in a ponytail or whatever, just away from the face, so that your face is wide open. Okay. Background, very important. It has to be a uniform, plain white, or just a tiny little bit of white. And yes, they say it's free of shadows, but like we already know in our examples, just a tiny little bit of shadow. As you can see, it's a normal, regular shadow. That's completely fine. But this is okay. This is not okay. So there's some kind of weird wall going on behind this guy. Not good. There's blue color, not good, definitely not good. I've seen people do that. Yes, I know it's not going to be easy to take a picture of a baby, but this is not good, this is not going to go, so might as well not even waste time. Children, so this is good for children. As you can see, for kids, because it's a baby, because they're laying down, all right, the baby is laying down, obviously you can't put that baby in front of the white background. This is acceptable, this is fine, all right, but that is not fine. Photo is underexposed. Hair is casting shadows on face. Very, very strict. You want to make sure it's nice and clear. This baby is not happy with taking picture, but it's a good picture. It will go. Yes, there's a little bit of shadow, but it's going to be fine. All right, no moving around. Try to keep them straight, looking at the camera. No weird faces. Basically, everything that applies to adults applies to kids. Can't do that, can't have pacifiers, can't have weird backgrounds or blurry. No, but that is fine. That is okay, all right? So with kids, the same requirements as for adults, but a little bit more kind of a room to play, all right? Online renewal application. Acceptable for online renewal application. The customer is directly facing the camera, has a natural. This is, we're not ever going to get it because we are not getting into the renewal. So I'm going to put this link again in the description. Picture, like I said, is one of the most important things whenever it comes to your DV lottery application. All right, moving further, mailing address. This is where you want to receive the notifications. Very important. You want to put in care of John Doe, that's your name, whatever address in Brazil, right? Very important, because this is where you will receive all the correspondence, all the notifications regarding your entry, all right, for the lottery. Country where you live today. Now that's again not the country where you were born, it's the country where you live today. In our case, I'll just put the Brazil, but again, keep in mind this is two different things. Country where you were born and country where you live today. Your eligibility is based on country where you were born. Okay, phone number, it says optional, but highly recommend entering your phone number just in case if they want to reach out to you. Email, definitely a must have. Don't enter if you don't really use your email, if you don't really have access to your email, just take an email from the relative that uses their email and ask them to keep an eye out for notifications. This is very important. You want to make sure it's an active email. Put it here. Now, what is the highest level of education you have achieved as of today? You must have a minimum of a high school diploma reflecting the completion of a full course of study. Now, this is very, very important as well, because like I've been reading in the instructions for you guys. The second requirement for successfully being picked for this for the lottery as a as an entrant, as a winner of the lottery, you have to have certain education requirements. All right, and as we can see here, minimum of high school diploma. So if you don't have a high school, you might be out of luck. So again, in our case, John Doe, I think bachelor degree, master's degree, so he's good to go. We're gonna select master's degree for this one, but keep in mind this is very important. What is your current marital status? Now, whether you're unmarried, married, and my spouse is not a U.S. citizen or U.S. lawful permanent resident, married and my spouse is a U.S. citizen, divorced, widowed, legally separated, we're gonna put unmarried, but one thing that I wanted to mention, that if you and your spouse both want to apply for this, you have to fill out one separately for yourself, and you have to fill out one separately for your spouse. All right. But here, if you select married and is not a U.S. citizen, then the next page is going to ask you for your spouse information. But like I said, here we're going to do unmarried. And number of children, we're going to put 0. And I want to read something here, which I get a lot of questions about. Children include all biological children, legally adopted children, and stepchildren who are unmarried and under the age of 21 on the date you submit your entry. You must include all eligible children, even if they do not live with you or if they do not intend to apply for a diversity visa as your derivatives. Failure to list all eligible children is grounds for disqualification. If your child is a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident, do not list him, her in your entry. Okay, so that is very, very important. Number of children. Children include all biological children, legally adopted children, and stepchildren who are unmarried under the age of 21. So let's say you have 2 kids. One of them kids is married and another kid is over 21. How many kids do you enter here? Well, the answer, according to this, would be 0. Okay? Because children that are meant here, yes, biological children, legally adopted stepchildren, who are unmarried only and under the age of 21. Very important. Keep that in mind. Okay, let's move on here. Obviously, we won't be able to move past this page because we have some European. Oh, actually, look, Brazil. Well, now I know Brazil is not eligible, unfortunately, for the DV lottery. So we're gonna select something else. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna select. Well, let's say our John Doe is currently lives. It's not a square picture, so obviously address, we're not going to be able to enter all of that. But basically that's really it. If there are no children involved, if there are no spouses involved, then the next page is going to be basically confirmation. Are you looking good? You go through everything, verify everything, and then hit submit, and your application will be submitted. Once your application is submitted, you will get a very long number starting with 2024, because this DV lottery entry is for 2024. Make sure to save that reference or confirmation number. I believe it's called confirmation number, because that is the number that you will use to check the status of your application. And I actually made a separate video on how to check the status if you're interested. If you have a spouse, if you mentioned that you're married, if you put any kids that are under 21 or who are unmarried, the next page will ask for their information, their pictures, all right? And then again, once you're done with all of that, it will be page to verify all the information and then submit. So again, to wrap up this video, the most important, obviously, entering all the correct information is very, very important. But 2 most important things that people always have the problems with: if you meet the education, that's number 1, then you don't have a problem with that. Then there's only one thing that you need to worry about, is the quality of your picture. I cannot stress that enough. The picture is super important. I will keep this, I'll put this link in the description below. Make sure to go through it, and just when you go to the photo center, just don't let them like talk you into like, oh yeah, this is good, no, this is fine. I see it all the time, like, oh yeah, we cut out the background, that's fine, don't worry about it, they will accept it. No, they won't. All right, this is what you want, not what they're telling you in that photo center or whatever where you are taking the picture. So hopefully this video was useful. Like I said, all the links will be in the description below. If you have any questions, you can just drop them in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next